Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos, is a festival from October 31st to November 2nd, honoring the dead, mixing ancient Aztec traditions with the Catholic All Saints' Day. It is on these days that the spirits of those who have passed return. For that reason, people across Mexico and southwestern United States set up ofrendas, or altars, to remember and celebrate those who have gone before them. Before looking at how these festivities play out today, we must first understand the Aztec beliefs on death and the origins of the Day of the Dead tradition. We must first understand, as the Aztecs understood, that we are eternal, but not permanent, that our spirit is eternal and life is but a dream. Only in death are we truly awake.
The Day of the Dead is a Mexican ritual believed to be either a basically pre-conquest Indian survival with European Catholic veneer or a nearly seamless fusion of pre-conquest of Roman Catholic ceremonial practices. As part of the rites of the 14th month or Huacholi, there were ceremonies that during the 5th day they used to make small arrows in honor of the dead and place them on their graves. Together they also placed a couple of sweet tamales. The offerings remained on the graves all day. At sunset, the candles were lit, and on the spot of the candlewood and arrows were burned. The resulting charcoal and ashes were buried on the grave of the dead, in honor of those who died in war. Second, during Izcalli, the 18th month, the last month of the year, every household used to offer to the fire 5 amaranth cakes on a platter. They also made these offerings to the dead, placing a tamale on each of the graves where they were buried. This ceremony took place before they partook of the tamales, and the remaining ones had to be eaten after. During the 9th month, Tlaxochimaco, the celebration of Micaldihuantontli, took place where they celebrated the kids what it was called Feast of the Little Dead. It was related to the seek of supernatural protection against the sometimes devastating effects of hail on their crops that could cause famine. 20 days later, during the 10th month, Xocoelhuentzi, is the Great Feast of the Dead, or La Gran Fiesta de los Muertos, where all the adults dead are celebrated, which is also referred as to Huaymanticotli. Nowadays, the celebration has been condensed to 3 days. October 31st, which is a day to put the altar together, November 1st, which is the day to celebrate the infants, and November the 2nd, which is the great feast when adult dead are celebrated. Sugar skulls and sugar candy became very well known in the festivity due to the reasons that Mexico was a big producer of sugar cane plantations. Chocolate has been another ingredient that, due to the same reason, people used to offer to the dead. Aztecs incorporated shaped foods into their rituals. They made food offerings to amaranth figurines, which were themselves treated as holy objects but eaten after rituals. With the arrival of colonizers, Aztec and Mayan people faced a large amount of deaths in battle or from disease, which led to an increase of celebrating the dead.
Once one has reached the end of their life, they need to travel down to the land of the dead. Throughout this journey, you will be faced with 9 challenges that will take you 4 years to reach. The ultimate end of every traveler is Mictlan, where Mictlantezcutli and Mictlancacihuat await your arrival. According to Carlos Aceves, many people will have to carry out all these challenges. The first challenge, Aponowayo, will always be to open your eyes and see what lies in front of you. Figures appear as they solidify into a very wide river and a dog waiting for you to move on. This dog is your guide, your Xolo. This water will fight you and carry you down the way, but keep swimming, your Xolo will guide you. During this swim, you realize that this Xolo is your soul. Exiting the river, you will be naked and no shame will come. The second challenge, Tepe Monamictia, is being crushed by two mountains. These two mountains will move closer to each other, but do not panic and keep your composure till the very end. People have already had the opportunity of being crushed when coming out of the womb. The birth canal does the same and ends up giving life. By this point of being tripped, crushed, you will notice there is no such thing as pain, just the memory of pain. Exiting the two mountains, you will see a black obsidian mountain, Ixtepet. In this third challenge, the mountain edges will cut you, but rather than feeling pain, you will feel the sharpness of the hurtful words you gave other people. You should cry, now that you still can. By this point, the body is cut up and parts of your flesh are hanging like ribbons. Blood is exiting your body. Keep walking. There will be 8 snow-covered mountains, Sehuecayan, that will each be colder than the last. This cold will enter your wounds and give you strength. During the snow-covered 4th challenge, you will want to run, but stay calm and complete the hike at a normal pace. During the 5th challenge, Itzeyacan, mountains of obsidian winds, will be the strongest winds you will ever encounter. They will disorient you, confuse you, and debilitate your will. Going back will only hold more winds, but you must keep going onward to finish the challenge. During this challenge, you will see your skin peeling off and uncover your skeleton, which is your true self. The Miminoloyan, Rain of Arrows, is the 6th challenge. This will take all of the remaining skin and only leave your skeleton. Once the arrows have stopped, you can continue to Teocolowaloyan, the 7th challenge. A jaguar will come from the darkness and you will see his dark coat. At this point, you have no fluids in your body. All that is left is your heart, your emotions. The jaguar attacks. You try to protect yourself with all your strength, but the jaguar will still eat your heart. After this good omen is gone, you notice the dark hole in your chest. This is to demonstrate the smoking mirror Tezcatlipoca represents. You will see who you really are. The hole becomes bigger and engulfs your whole being. In the 8th challenge, Apanuayo, you are surrounded by dark waters. A reptile will appear, and that is all you'll be able to see. He whispers and keeps repeating the word Xochitonat, which means flowering sun. Every time he repeats this, you realize that is what you are, a flowering sun. This dark water becomes 9 rivers that turn into waterfalls, dropping onto the next. The last waterfall will deliver you to the final challenge of Mictlan. Both lords of Mictlan await for you, and you curl up into the mother and father of death and realize there will be always a journey.
When celebrating El Día de los Muertos, also known as Day of the Dead, it is a tradition to make altares or altars. El Día de los Muertos is considered a time frame when the dead return to visit their family and friends. The family makes these altares to honor and welcome their beloved ones that have passed away. The altares are a segment of levels that vary in size and are covered with colorful oilcloths and are highly decorated. For example, they decorate the altares with papel picado or cutouts of paper tissue. It is important to have ofrendas or offerings in these altares. The altares are personalized to the individual who it is dedicated to through the ofrendas. For example, it is typical for pictures of loved ones to be placed in the altares as a way to dedicate it to them. The picture frame can be decorated with different symbols that represent the individual. Another ofrenda that is very important when making an altar is to include food for the dead. This usually consists of tamales, mole, piloncillo or candied pumpkin, atole, seasonal fruits or pan de muerto, or any foods the individual favored when alive. Pan muerto is decorated with colored sugar in a way to represent different aspects of the dead, such as bones or skulls. An altar also includes flowers, and more commonly used are marigolds due to their strong scent, but they can also include flower wreaths. Sugar skulls are also present in altares as a way for those in the physical world to have some visual representation that is in connection with those beloved ones who have passed. The skulls are made of sugar mixture that has been pressed into molds and then dried. The dried sugar skulls are decorated with icing and sometimes non-edible items such as colored foil, feathers, or sequins. The skulls can be made of chocolate as well. Candles are placed in the altares as a way to help guide the spirits to their proper homes. Other ofrendas that are commonly found are included as personal hygiene items such as soap and a wash bowl, because it is believed that the dead have been traveling for a long time and therefore need these items to clean themselves. Overall, the ofrendas are representatives of the four elements in nature such as water, fire, wind, and earth, which are needed to live a balanced life. Other activities that take place during this time is a street parade. This parade usually takes place in bigger cities throughout a mainstream in which some are dressed in costumes that represent Day of the Dead. Also, many families make a trip to the cemeteries in which they all gather to decorate their loved ones' graves. There are carts and vendors selling decorations outside the gravesite. There are also bands that go around playing throughout the different graves. This day is filled with activities that create unity among families because they all come together to acknowledge and honor those who have passed away.